What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back and welcome to the beginning. So today is going to be the day when we start disassembling the car. So for me, I have to figure out how to set the camera up for my camera angles and all of that stuff. But today we about to get this thing started, man. Hot as I don't know what already. It's early in the morning. Time is it? 7:30 and it's hot, 80 degrees. So we better get this thing cracking, man. So man, hopefully everybody's having a good time, man. Hopefully, I'm hoping not to make this, too, I want it to be interesting. I want it to be, for the most part, informative. So I'm gonna try and catch as many things as I can. I'm probably gonna have to run it through using all of my cameras, because this camera here is too big to be fitting underneath the car. So I'm gonna fit it in where I can. If not, then I'm gonna be using the GoPro. And then I still have another camera I can use too. So I'm gonna be switching between cameras, so the footage is gonna look a little strange from time to time. Hopefully not. I'm gonna try and edit it up real good for you. But as y'all can see, I'm super tired, man. But I'm about to get this thing started. So let's get started. All right, fam. So overview. What do we got? This is what we're gonna have to do. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to disconnect the battery. So disconnect the battery, because we are gonna be messing with the starter. So I'm gonna start this whole thing off. We're gonna disconnect the battery. Then we're gonna remove the top mount and slave cylinder, unplug the harnesses, pitch stop, ground wire, and try and start removing the starter. We're gonna try and get done everything we can up here up top first. And then once that's done, then I'm gonna lift the car up, and then we're gonna go underneath the car and look at and see what all we need to remove underneath, just to get us prepared to drop the transmission. Because I think that's gonna be what I'm gonna have to do already is gonna be enough for the day, dealing with all this heat. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. All right, so dude, man, when I tell you that turned out to be way harder than I wanted it to be, geez, man. All right, so not looking forward to putting that thing back in. And plus I might have to do something different to put it in anyway, because of the new transmission. But I disconnected these connectors. So that's the brown connector. I'm gonna take this bracket off right here and put it to the side so that this is completely out of the way. Next thing we got to do is we got to get this ground wire right here. Take that off and take the pitch stop mount off. And then we need to disconnect the slave cylinder from this whole little area. So we're gonna take that off, I'm gonna put y'all on a time lapse while I do that. And anything else that's connected to the transmission, I'm going to take it off. So let me look at that. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna slap y'all on the GoPro so that I can use my hands. All right, so I had to disconnect that harness with the brown and gray plug from here. I had to disconnect it from there. There's a little bracket that holds on there. It's a 14mm bolt that holds this bracket on here, and that's what holds, you know, these two connectors on there.
So I'm gonna take that off at some point and then put it to the side just in case I might need it. Only thing I gotta do now is take the 212s right here off the starter to get the starter connections off of here. Take this 14 millimeter off right here to get rid of this grounding strap right there. And then at that point, I believe we should be able to go down to the bottom of the car and start disconnecting everything we need to disconnect down there. Drain the transmission for one, take off the drive shaft, figure out, I'm gonna take the ball joints, the lower ball joint off the control arm down there and just take off everything at the bottom, take off the wheel. I may not have to take off the wheel, but I probably should. And then pop out these axles. So that's where we are. I'm gonna put y'all on the time lapse while I do this little section right here, and then we'll go from there. All right, y'all. So I got everything that I could get done up top done. So now I'm just going to, I'm gonna start off taking off the exhaust. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna drain the transmission. And while I'm draining that, I'm just gonna take off pretty much the whole exhaust dang there all the way out to the back. And then heat shield, and I'm gonna start off on the drive shaft. I'm just gonna put you guys on the time lapse while I go through all of that. And then we'll work on popping out the axle nuts and getting the axles out. All right, y'all. I can't say it's the easiest thing in the world. It could be because I'm like 6'3", so I'm pretty tall. So working underneath the car is quite difficult. But we got the drive shaft out. We got the exhaust off. I still got to take the back half off, but we'll get to that whenever I get to the rear diff. But we got all of that off, and now the only few things I want to do now is we got to take off. I want to disconnect the linkage from the shifter. So that we're gonna do that right here in this little box right here. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Tripping. Need some safety goggles on, y'all. All right, so it's all 10s. So I'm gonna take off these 4 10mm bolts. There we go. And we got all those off. What we gotta do now is pull this little tab off right here. And this shows us our linkage, our cables. So let's see, how do we take these off? Look like this right here. We got to split these. See these two little parts right here? Hold on, let me put this thing where I can see it. Okay, so wait a minute, let me diffuse this a little bit. The light is a little too bright. All right, so these two little clips right here, we're gonna spread those apart. All right, we're gonna spread these two clips apart here. And there we go. That linkage is off of there. I mean, that's off of there, disconnected. This is what's connected to the actual shift knob. Put that guy to the side, and then this one, looks like all we need to do is just pop it off of here. There we go. And we are good to go there. And then next we need to take off these clips right here. All right, I got like a little pry bar. Let's see if I can kind of pop this off of there with this. Whew, that hurt. But that got off of there, so let's try that again on this side. All right, now those are off. All we got to do now is just pop these boys out of here. So we're gonna slide that one and bring it through the hole here. There we go. That's one of them out. And let's pop this other one out of there. And that guy's out of there too. So now, only other thing we got to do here is that comes out from the top. So if we want to take this little bracket off of here, we take these 4 bolts out here. And this deal 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 4 right there. We'll pop those out. All right. Oh snap. All right, we should be able to just pull this right on out. Oh, shoot. Should have my goggles on. Got my eye. All right, so we got those out. So let's put all our bolts in there. And then everything else has to come out from the top. But we'll get to that. Let's finish what we got to do down here.
All right, fam. So now we're at the part where we got to take out the axles. So just so you guys can see here, I've already marked my spot right there. As you can see, that right there is what, hold on. That right there, if I can get it the camera to show what I'm looking at right there. That's where it lines up with that line on there. So I marked it with a paint pen. That way then whenever I put this back on here, all I got to do is line this top bolt back up with that and I'll be good to go. But you got to take, we got to move this right here. We got to take this off. It's for your speed sensor. This is your brake line. We got to take that off. Take these 2 bolts off. And then we should be able to let this whole thing down. But then at the same time, we also need to take off this axle nut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hammer this out, put the impact on it, pop this thing out of there, loosen that off, take it off, take this little tab off of there, and then loosen this off, and then let this thing drop down, and I should be able to knock out this this axle nut right here. And then at that point, I'll go in underneath the car with a pry bolt, and then pry out the axle, and then I'll do the same on the other side. All right, now that we're under here, we got the axle out. Hold it, and you want to just put your pry bar in between that and the axle. And at that point, just a quick little jolt, and axle is free. And our axle is out. Now, what I do have to say is that AMSOIL gear oil still looked brand new when it came out, y'all, just to let y'all know. So it did a good job, but we can't use that same setup with the STI transmission, unfortunately. But that's pretty much how we get your drive axle out. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to pop it out of there. So now I'm gonna put you guys on the time lapse. I'm gonna do the other side, and then we'll wrap this thing up for today, because man, your boy is hot. All right, y'all, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up for today, because I've been out here for a long time, dog. So just to put a little perspective on it, I started at I think 7 o'clock this morning, and it is currently 1:42, and that's the temperature in there, 86 degrees. So I'm a little fatigued. Noticed myself starting to make mistakes. I was like, man, it's time to wrap this up. So we're gonna wrap it up there. So right now we are at least at the point in time where we can just start fresh tomorrow morning, and we're gonna work on taking the carrier, the transmission carrier off. Take all that off. Take the transmission mount off. Support the transmission, and we're gonna take all of the other bolts out. And then figure out how we're gonna hook that transmission jack up to it. We're gonna pull out the transmission, and then pull off the stock clutch. Take a look at it, inspect it, see how it looks, see how it's been going. And since we're at like what 28,000 miles right now, I got to look at the mileage whenever I connect the battery back up. But I did get the starter off, by the way, so that's sitting over there. So right now, all we got to do now is just pop the transmission off, take off the clutch, clean everything up. Put the ACT clutch on, which is going to be quite the endeavor trying to put that thing on, because it's so many pieces to it. But I got the instructions, so I should be able to figure it out. Put all of that stuff on, torque all that stuff down, and get the kind of set everything up to have the transmission ready to get put in. Well, so thank you guys if you made it this far in the video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit all so you get notified whenever I put out a video. And until that next video, fam, peace.